Hey guys, so this is part two of how to date or dating military items. If you haven't already, please watch part one, and hopefully you learn from that video and learn from this one as well. Just like I did in the first video, I just kind of got some random things out of my collection, just different, I guess, categories or topics or subjects just to cover in this video. And I'm actually having fun. I may had fun making the first video and getting this one together, and I hope you enjoy it. And I don't know how many of these parts I'm going to do. It could be 3 or 4 or 5, but hopefully you guys get some information from the videos and get some questions answered. And I'm going to go ahead and bring you in and let's get started. Alright, so here is what I'm going to cover in this video. You see I got some bayonets, some rounds and stuff, dog tags, a couple gas cans, jerry cans. So I'm actually going to start, I guess, right here with the ammunition I have. So I have right here on this belt, these are 50 caliber rounds. Now when it comes to 50 caliber rounds and a lot of the other regular rounds for like a rifle, you'll always want to check on what's called the head stamp. And let me show you this. See, there's a 2-digit number. See, like the first one there, you got 5-4, then you got 5-9. Then you got, there's another 5-9. There's just different dates. So you got 43, 43, 43, 43, and so on. So that is actually the last 2 digits of the date. And so let me get down lower. This might be easier for me. So see, you've got, there's actually a 8-4. It's upside down, 84. Then you got 45, 45. 53 and so on. So when you're looking at 50 caliber rounds or most other rounds, check the head stamp. Those 2 digits are actually the last 2 digits of the year. So that's a way of identifying, what year your particular rounds were produced. Now I've actually got some rounds here on these stripper clips, and I was going to show you these. See, this is actually dated to 1941. See, it's just got the 41 there. It's a 30-06 round. And let me show you one of these here. This one is actually dated to 1918. You see it's got the 18 on there? 1918 on there, so that'd be World War I ammo. I love this old ammunition. It's just really awesome. I've got a lot of it. And, it's just really cool having something like that in the collection. But, so basically, you go, they for the most part, the U.S. puts the last 2 digits on, the head stamp. Could be the whole year, the whole 19 whatever, but a lot of times it's just 2 digits. Now, right here, I've actually got a couple 20 millimeter rounds. And check this out. 1943 right there. And let me show you this one here. 1942, I'm sorry, 44, and you see 20 millimeter. So, sometimes companies would put the whole year and not just the last 2 digits. And not even just with U.S. stuff. Sometimes, with British or other countries, they would put the whole year. But a lot of times, for the most part, the U.S. were pretty consistent with dating their stuff compared to other countries. So it's not as hard to date U.S. gear or items or whatever as it is other countries. But sometimes you can have a particular item that you can just spot it right away when it was made. Right here I've actually got a field dressing. See, it says field dressing there, and you see it's October 1942. Now sometimes you'll see something and it'll just have like a 2-digit date. Or a lot of times 2-digit. You could be, instead of October, it could be 10/42 or 10/-1942. But see, this company actually, see, it says Johnson & Johnson, if you can make that out. See, they actually spell out the month of October and then the whole year of 1942 and not just 42. So, that's a pretty cool item to have there. I got about 4 or 5 of those. But right here, I've actually got, this is a 1911 holster. See, it's got US on there. And these are usually dated right here on the back side. See, it's made by Boyd, and it's got a 42. So obviously, that'd be 1942. Again, some companies might actually put on their holsters 1942 instead of 42, but that's usually on a holster where you can find the date for the most part is going to be right in this area here, especially for the 1911s. Right down here, I've actually got a couple dog tags, and they're from different eras. This first one here, I'll show you. It's got the soldier's name. You see, it's got that T60, and the T would be when he got his tetanus shot or immunization, 1960. So this would be, you know, close to Vietnam era, this particular dog tag. But I'll show you this one right here. See, this one is actually World War II. So you got a T42, so he would have gotten his tetanus immunization or shot in 1942. 43 would have been his toxoid, if I pronounce that right, like a toxins type shot, immunization or preventative shot in 1943. So that's basically how you can date, you know, easily date dog tags is, you know, around about the date the shot was given or administered, you know. So that helps somewhat with dog tags. Now, some of them, you know, don't actually have a date on them at all, and those can be a little bit more challenging to date. So you might have to do a little bit more research on those particular ones. But right here, I've got a couple U.S. jerry cans or gas cans. And something that's kind of cool about them is I'll show you. Sometimes they're dated here on the top, which I need to clean this one. It's filthy. But see it, 1944. The whole year is spelled out. You see that? So 1944. But then, let me make some room here. On this other one, I'm going to lay it down. Well, of course it's upside down. Hold on. This one is actually 1945. You see that? But it's just got the 2 digit there. 1945. So the other one is dated on the top, under the handle, the whole year, 1944. This one is on the bottom, 1945. So sometimes you just got to kind of search around on your items and look for a whole date. It could have a month involved in the date, or just be, you know, the date itself, or the last 2 digits of the year made. But sometimes you will have those items that aren't dated at all, and again, that's when you'll have to do a little bit more research. Moving on here, so I'll start with these bayonets. This first one here, you know, I love these. I've got, I think, about 5 or 6 of them. These are British Enfield bayonets, and this one is actually a model 1907. Now, this one was not made in 1907, so sometimes when you're trying to date an item in your collection or something you're looking to add, you got to be careful because you don't want to confuse the model that the item was made with the actual year of production. So this is a model 1907, but see, it's got a 10 and an 18. So Wilkinson is the company. It would have been made around October of 1918. It would not have been made in 1907. It's just the model 1907. So that would have been, you know, towards the end of World War I right there. But, you know, those are really cool bayonets to have. I just love them. Now, check this out. This is a bayonet. Would have been for a Springfield rifle. And later on, these were actually, could have been used, you know, maybe modified, converted, and used on M1 Garand in World War II. Now, check this out. See, this is 1907, right? Now, this is actually the date that this was made. Sorry about the focus. 1907. This one is not a model 1907. This is actually the year of production, 1907. Because these bayonets came out, I believe they started being produced in 1905, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been 03, 05. I have to brush up on my knowledge as well. But so this was made in 1907, whereas the British Enfield one is a model 1907. Now check this out. Now this is actually it's chromed parade use M1 Garand bayonet. This one is actually dated 1943. And you see it's longer than the other one here, which, you know, they were cut down after 42. And I'm actually surprised this 43 wasn't cut down. But so, again, just be careful what's a model year and what's actually year of production. Just kind of keep your eye on that. And, again, it's always fun to study and research and learn for yourself. So this right here is a German K98 Mauser bayonet. And I wanted to show you this. So you got 44 right there. So this bayonet itself would have been 1944. And then let me show you the scabbard with it, which this isn't a good example. This is actually the only one that I have, but I want to show you this right here. So you got 42. So the scabbard for this German K98 bayonet the scabbard was made in 1942, whereas the bayonet itself was 1944. You know, it's really cool when collecting if you can find the same year and like pair up or partner up a bayonet and scabbard, especially with the same manufacturer. That's when it's really cool, and those are the ones that can really bring more money as well a lot of times. And so really the last thing I wanted to cover is this is a Japanese Type 30 Arasaka bayonet. Now, one thing with Japanese stuff is it was not really dated ever, not with the 2-digit, not with the whole 4-year digit date, not with the month and year. So a lot of times the Japanese, you know, use different symbols or characteristics or whatever to determine the date and manufacture of these items. And I'm not as well versed in the Japanese stuff as I am in US stuff, but if you see right here, this has what's, you know, it's the guard, and this is the quillion. People pronounce it differently. See, it's got the hook on there. Starting around the middle of 1943, 44, about mid-war, World War II, this was no longer hooked. They made it to where it was just straight. It was just a straight guard or quillion. It didn't have the hook on there. So if you have a Japanese Arasaka bayonet and it does not have the hook here, it's just straight across, then that would have been made in middle or late World War II. Now this one that does have the hook, this one could have been made in early war years or even before World War II started. And one thing I can tell you also, when it comes to Japanese Arasaka bayonets, there actually a lot of times will be a serial number here on the, they call it like the bird head, I guess, of the bayonet itself. So you got 26325. There's actually a symbol right there. It's hard to make out. Unless it was what's called a trainer bayonet. If it's a trainer bayonet made just for training purposes out of crude materials and stuff, not to military specifications, then it will not have a serial number on there. And it won't even have a manufacturer's marking on here. Like this is a Kokura, or Kokura, pronounced differently right there. That's who made this one. But anyways, just a little bit there information on Japanese bayonets. But anyways, I hope you guys are liking these videos. I appreciate you guys that are watching them. I know they can be lengthy and I can be long-winded, but anyways, guys, just keep giving me feedback in the comments section. Let me know what you might want some information on. I've already got some ideas for a part 3, maybe a part 4, and I'll be getting back to you soon, guys. So thank you so much.